Hey everyone, Rafi again here with KSuspension. And what we're going to be doing today is actually installing a rear main seal into this 1992 Jeep Cherokee. So in order to do that, we have the FELPRO gasket here, part number BS Bravo Sierra 40612. So we're going to go ahead and start taking off that oil pan and get her all sealed up. Let's get going. Alright, so in order to get started, we're going to go ahead and first break the oil plug loose. And you want to go ahead and drain the oil. Alright, so before we start removing all the oil pan bolts, what we got to do is actually remove the starter. There's going to be some bolts on the back side of it, and it just makes life a whole heck of a lot easier if you get it off. Make sure you remove the positive battery terminal from the battery up top, just so we don't shock ourselves. Alright, so before you get started removing the oil pan, what we've got to remember is there is going to be a lot of 11mm and 13mm bolts. And some of them, like this one here, actually has a bracket to hold the transmission lines up and out of the way. So as you take them off, I'd recommend grabbing a cardboard stencil and just go ahead and mark it front to rear. What I'm doing here is actually using the new oil pan gasket cardboard piece. And as you remove the bolts, just go ahead and set them down inside of the cardboard so that they all stay in line. So we can go ahead and start removing these bolts. Alright, so after you get all the oil pan bolts out, sometimes you're going to have to give the oil pan a little bit of convincing, but it should just come right off. We're going to go ahead and drop it and move it straight out of the way. Alright, so once you got the oil pan off, go ahead and clean up all the old gasket material. And what we're going to do is come back here now to the rear bearing cap. What we're going to be using is a 21mm socket. We're going to go ahead and break these caps loose. Then you can go ahead and remove them. Alright, and on the Jeep 4.0 liters, it's going to be actually a two-piece gasket. One piece slides in over the bearing cap here, and the other piece lands right on the bottom here. So we're going to show you how to get that out. So now to get this top piece out from the block, we're going to grab ourselves a small punch, set it right on that seal, give it some tap. Be very, very careful not to score the bearing. There it goes. Then just slide it out. You just grab yourself a pair of needle nose. It should come right out. There we go. Alright, so now that we got the top seal out, we're going to grab our bearing cap here and actually remove this gasket. There we go. So now that we got that off, what we're going to do is go ahead and install the new one. Now these grooves only go a certain way. Make sure that they're set up properly and straight. We're going to give this a quick wipe down. Just get any excess oil out. Okay. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and set in the new gasket. Make sure it goes in straight. You'll hear it kind of set in, and you'll feel it too. And after your new seal is in, what you're going to want to do is make sure the mating surfaces are nice and clean. And you're going to grab a little bit of silicone, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to put a small bead right on the ends of the caps. Right there. That way when you hook it back up to the top, it gives you a nice seal, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so we're going to go and install the upper part of the rear main. Now when you grab your new seal, there's going to be a groove on one side. You want that facing the front of the engine. So what we're going to do here, grab the provided shoehorn, we're going to set it right next to the opening, and then what we're going to do is actually slide in the new rear main right on top of it. Once it starts going in, you can remove the shoehorn and then slowly slide it through. It should not be difficult. It should just go right in. And once it's in and you got it flush, you'll see that it pops back out on the other side and your upper is in. Alright, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and put the lower bearing cap back on. We're just going to go ahead and slide it over, reinsert the bolts. So now after you get these bolts back in, what you want to do is go ahead and torque them down in a sequence. So the first torque setting, you should set them at 40 foot-pounds. And then you're going to come back, set them at 70 foot-pounds, and then to finish them up, you're going to set them at 80 foot-pounds total, and then your bearing caps will be reset, and the rear main is complete. Alright, so now that we got everything back together, we're going to go ahead and install the new oil pan gasket. In this instance, we're using the FELPRO part number OS, Oscar Sierra 34308R as in Romeo. It comes with these awesome handy dandy clips that you put in all four corners that will go ahead and hold your gasket up for you. And what we're going to do is take our oil pan, slide it back on, and those clips should hold it up for us. Those will go ahead and hold it up for us. And now, go ahead and drive in your bolts. So now the oil pan's back on, don't forget to reconnect your starter. And after you get your starter in, you can go ahead and reconnect your battery cables up top and fill her up. Alright everyone, so that does conclude our installation of the rear main seal in this 92 Jeep Cherokee. One thing I do want to mention is obviously I don't have a front differential installed at the moment. If you do have yours installed, just jack it up as high as you can. If you can get it on a lift, it would make your life a whole lot easier. And just drop it up and out of the way. Loosening up your steering components does help as well. You just have to kind of finagle it out of there. It is doable though, I promise. I'll go ahead and throw in the description below all the part numbers for everything that we use today. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Check out our website at KSuspensionLifts.com. And as always, from all of us here at KSuspension to you, happy trails.